Happy Sunday, everybody. I am so happy that you are here. You being my booze and bros, my bookish pals, my fellow fans of the written word, welcome to episode 110 of the Bookcast. This is my platform for sharing short fiction and updates on life as a self-published author of romantic fiction that centers Black love. I am your host, D.L. White. I am an Atlanta-based author of novels, short stories, fan fiction, but I'm a reader first. So we always begin with the book report, and then we talk about writing and topics of the day. And speaking of topics of the day, happy Black History Month to all my fellow Blacks, my fellow persons of the darker hue. I named this episode something kind of funny. I hope people get it, and if they don't, that's okay. But recently, this new administration said they weren't going to be celebrating Black History Month, as a government. Okay, so you're going to stop pretending to celebrate. Anyway, en masse, as a people, here's what we had to say about that.
I don't give a f. I'm still in the house. I'm still in the house. I don't give a f. Do I look like I give a f? Because I don't.
There you have it. We are still here. We are still a people. We still love being our people. We still love our ancestors and the predecessors and the people that came before us and the people that lit the path and made a way for us to be here and have all the freedoms that we have. And so it really doesn't matter to me. I like it matters, but it doesn't. But we all know they just, they're giving it lip service and pretending that they really care about the advancement of us as a people. It's fun for them to stop pretending. We never believed y'all was doing it anyway. So hi, welcome to Black History Month. I hope you are all having a blessed and very, very Black day, week, month, year, quite frankly, because I'm just not going to let them take the enjoyment that I have in my life. So, welcome to the Bookcast. I am so happy you are here. I want to remind you that if you would like to show your support to this podcast, you can do so in several ways. You can follow me anywhere and everywhere I am. I'm author DL White in most spots. You can join the newsletter at booksbydlwhite.com/newsletter. You can throw some folding into the offering plate at bookcast.buzzsprout.com or buymeacoffee.com/booksbydlwhite. Or people, I've been working on a new thing because I love a new project. You can rep your set. I don't even know what that means because I'm not hip. It just sounds good. It feels good coming out of my mouth. I am relaunching my merch site with a new to me site called Fourth Wall, and mostly because they integrate with BookFunnel, which is where I distribute my ebooks and my audiobooks. So I'm going to try and do a little something over on Fourth Wall, mostly so I can be able to sell books on Instagram, Facebook, and whatnot. I can't do that with PayHip for some reason because I don't, quote, own the site. So I'm going to see what I can do. But I like the merch mostly because I can do like notebooks and stemless wine glasses, things like that. So I'm trying it out. Like I said, I love a new project. So anyway, booksbydlwhite.com/shop is where you will come upon a road that diverges. You can go to shop ebooks or you can go to shop merch. Last weekend, I tried to set myself up with a little subdomain, and I totally messed up my website and had to call Squarespace and be like, hey, I messed this up. How do I fix it? So I'm not going to be doing the thing where it has its own URL. I can't. So that's how that's going to go. And so I'm going to start building up my merch there. I'm currently on Spreadshop. It's okay. It's not like I sell a whole lot of merch, but I love a new project. I'm going to try something new. So booksbydlwhite.com/shop. I'm kind of having fun reproducing all of my merch there. I currently have a featured product, which is a stemless wine glass, goblet, container, tumbler thing. It's pretty cute. I think I'm going to get one just so I can, I don't even really drink, but I'm going to enjoy a fizzy beverage in my Books by D.O. White wine tumbler, and I encourage you to go get one. I priced them pretty neat, like the base price is mine, and then I think I make like $2 or $3 on them. So I'm really trying not to gouge people. I just want to have fun things with my website name on them. Can you blame me? So that's what's going on in housekeeping and such. Let's hop on the train and get this podcast episode going. Today is Sunday, February 2nd. It is smack in the middle of the afternoon, 3:24 p.m. It is sunny in the ATL. I have a mic and I am ready to dig in. But first, I need you to join me for a short beverage break. Okay, all right. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that short break. We begin, as always, with the book report. I always forget to check this. Like every week, I forget to check this. I am quite a bit ahead on my Goodreads challenge. I am at 29 books of my challenge to read 100 books in 2025. I'm 21 books ahead of schedule. You would think I could slow down, but I cannot because there are too many books that I want to read and I have so much available time to read them. Eventually, I am going to bump up my challenge just so it's a little bit normal, and then like I'll back it up. I'll put it up to something ridiculous like 200 so I'm not behind or I'm not so far ahead. And then I'll back it down to something like a little bit normal that matches my speed of reading. But I got into some really good books this week. I got into, looks like 4 books. Black and Blues, How a Color Tells the Story of My People by Imani Perry. That came out on Tuesday. I got an audio arc of it and it was beautiful. Really beautifully done. I have to really be in the mood for a nonfiction book. So I skipped around a little bit in this one, but Imani reads this book and her voice is really just so beautiful and poetic. It's really more, you have to be in the mood for something academic and educational, but it's also kind of entertaining. Like the chapter on Indigo, I think I said this last week, the chapter on Indigo makes me want to go back and read Beverly Jenkins' Indigo, because she talks about how the actual indigo plant stains the hands red, and not red, but blue. And the mark of that blue was just like the mark of someone who was enslaved, and they were picking the plant that stained the hands. It made me want to go back and read Indigo by Beverly Jenkins, because that was the mark of Indigo. Her hands were blue, and that was a mark that she was previously enslaved. Both great, really, really well done. And then Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson, that also came out on Tuesday. I did not get an arc of that, so I waited until release day to grab the audio of that, and I was right to wait for audio. This was a 3-star read until like the next to the last chapter. Like she really dragged it out. I needed all of this book to really get it. I did read a review by Literary Marie that says you can't read this in one sitting. There's a lot of layers to this story. There's a lot to it. And like you really like need to take it all in order to get it. And she was right. It's a good story. I gave this 4 stars. Eventually, it was a 3-star read up until almost the end, and then I was like, oh, I get it. Okay. I enjoyed this much more than Black Cake. I'll tell you, I don't even remember Black Cake, but this story is memorable. It was very well done. Henry is worthless. Just remember these words: Henry is worthless. I also got into Audra, the prequel. This is the prequel to the Family Ties series by Delaney Diamond. Delaney is one of my good girlfriends. one of my writing ass writer friends. And she put this up as a serial on her website, but I just couldn't stand it. I needed the whole story at once. And so I decided to wait until the prequel was released. It's currently 99 cents on all ebook platforms. Go on over and snatch it up, put it into your face, read it, get it all in. I super, super enjoyed this. I forgot how much I enjoy Damon and his self-confidence. Just, he makes me laugh. I had to text her about it because it is a very romantic, steamy novel. It's very well written, but Damon just makes me laugh. And then I read I'll Be Yours by Nina Hai. She is a new to me author. I really enjoyed, I'm not going to look it up, but she's got a series set. It's like, I think it's a 3-book series about teachers. I read those in December, just ate them, gobbled them up whole. Really great. Nina is a great author. If you are looking for self-published romance that is a little fluffy, like very like low angst, but not no angst, a little bit of drama, nice steam, head on over to Nina Hai, follow her, grab her books up. You won't regret it. I feel like you won't regret it. I currently have entirely too many books on my am reading list, and I do this because I have a number of books like advanced reader copies that I have agreed to read for review, and I will forget if they're not on my reading shelf. And so at the beginning of the month, I've been just adding them, and then when I start them, I just change the start date so it's accurate, and then I can read or listen to it. So I have a bunch of things coming up to read in February. Some of these are advanced reader copies. Some of these are things that I saw were good, and now I have to read it. And some of these are like random things I started throughout January and I forgot about them and I didn't finish them. And so now it's on my to read list. And when I go to look at my list and what do I have to get read? Here's what's happening. So this week I have to get 2 books read, ideally by Tuesday. And I am a fast reader or fast listener, but I don't know if this is going to happen. A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I have an audio arc of that, and that comes out on Tuesday, February 4th, as well as Bonded in Death by J.D. Robb. I also have an audio advanced copy of that. That's also out on Tuesday. I don't think I'm going to get them both listened to by Tuesday, but perhaps by the end of the week or next week. I'm not in a huge hurry on those, but those are both come out on Tuesday. And then the following week, I believe, a book called Cold as Hell, I think. No, Not Our Daughter. Another audio arc that I have. I just go through NetGalley and I just be picking up books that look good. And I might get to them, I might not. I'm trying not to worry about them. Leave me alone, Raymond. I'm trying not to worry about them, but also the books look good. And I want to read them. I want to listen to them. I want to review them. And so I stress out about it because I want to get to them, and sometimes I just don't. So I also have The Man Burned by Winter by Pete Zacharias. This was a series referred to me by one of my friends on Instagram. She's like, hey, have you ever heard of this guy? And I was like, nope, never heard of him. She's like, you should get into it. He's a PI. And so I'm going to consider this to be research for the PI novel that I'm going to be editing for my summer release, Missing Persons. So I'm just gobbling up everything that is PI related just to make sure that I've got like the voice and the mood and the spirit of a private investigator, how other people are writing them, probably things I am not thinking about. And so I can go back when I go to rewrite and edit that I'm being a little bit more realistic in my portrayal of a private investigator. And then I have Cold as Hell by Kelly Armstrong. I believe that's another audio arc that's coming probably later in the month. The Quiet Wife by Diane Saxon, another audio arc. You Could Do Damage by Casey Mills is an ebook arc. Savings and Trust, The Rise and the Betrayal of the Freedmen's Bank by Justine Hill Edwards. I don't have to have this read until March 1st, but of course I'm going to listen to it in February because March 1st is the Resist Booksellers event with the author on this book. I'm really looking forward to that. Kill Her by Chris Patchell. You remember in January, or was it December? I don't know. The months are now all running together. I ran through this series by Chris Patchell. Really enjoyed it. The next book in the series is out. I wish I could wait for audio, but I cannot because I need to inhale this book. And then We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang. For some reason, I was looking at book 3 by Tracy Lang. This is not a series, but for some reason I wanted to go back and read We Are the Brennans before I read the next book in the series. I can't even remember what it's called, but I'm going to finish We Are the Brennans and I'm going to read the next book that she has out. God, what is it called? I don't know. Can't remember, but the next Tracy Lang book, I'm going to read it. It's a brand new book, but I don't know. I don't ask my brain questions. I just do what it tells me to do. I'm going to finish We Are the Brennans at some point in February. So that's what I've got going on the reading and the read list. Recommended TV and movies. Y'all know my whole goal for like the next however long these people are in power is I have got to stop scrolling. And I'm deep into every streaming channel I have access to, and everything I have added as my stuff or wanna watch or ooh, that sounds good. I've got a list of things I need to check off. I got my shows I'm watching. I've got it all like mapped out. I'm either going to be reading, writing, or watching something because I've got to stop scrolling. So I am watching The Coroner on Hulu. I'm actually almost done with this. There's only 4 seasons of this show. It was originally on CBC, and I guess Hulu brought it. It's really good. It's really good. Like, I've been kind of not live tweeting it, but live. I don't know what we call it over on Blue Sky, but I'm not calling it skeeting, but live posting it as I'm watching it. It's a really good show. I'm on season 4. I'm almost done. And so I'll probably finish that up this week. Papa's House, The Irrational, Will Trent, Elsbeth, Matlock, The Pit, all had new episodes last week. I gotta catch up on Papa's House, but everything else I am caught up. Some I watched live, some I watched the day after because I can't stand the commercials, and then some I catch up, like I caught up on Elsbeth and The Pit on Friday because I just could watch them back to back in the afternoon after I logged off from work. I also watched some of, and I'm going to finish this week, American Manhunt, O.J. Simpson on Netflix. One of my friend she's actually a personal friend, but she was posting on Blue Sky about this. It's another O.J. Simpson documentary, but there is so much in this documentary that I never heard because I was never paying attention. I don't know how the LAPD screwed. I do know how the LAPD screwed this up, but oh my goodness, the LAPD, the prosecution. How did y'all, there's so much blood evidence. Like, if you have any interest in documentaries, if you have any interest in the O.J. Simpson trial, of the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman, get into this documentary. It's good. It's a little slow, like they're dragging it out quite a bit, but I've got to get that finished this week. And an update on our family on Max. They're really pulling this out week by week. I believe there's a new episode. Episode 3 is up. And then I saw Goodrich by Michael Keaton is on Max, and I love me some Michael Keaton. And so I'm going to watch that. I'm probably going to watch that this afternoon. I'm going to get off of here, and I'm going to watch that while I edit this episode, and eat some, a late lunch. And I'm very much looking forward to that. And then what I'm excited about coming up, there's a movie coming up with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck called R.I.P. By the way, did anybody watch Air? I did not watch it. Like, I love everybody involved. I couldn't get to it. So I got to get that on the list and get it watched, because that's a thing that I'm doing. And then, so I love Matt Damon. I love Matt Damon. If you've ever heard Matt Damon give an interview, that man can tell a story. He is a storyteller. I just adore him. I need him to never be like a douche because it's going to hurt me to still be a fan of Matt Damon. But I love Matt Damon. I love Ben Affleck as an actor. I don't know if it's good or not to like Ben Affleck, but I do. I love a Ben Affleck movie. I heard The Accountant is coming. The Accountant 2 is coming. If there is a movie that I save to watch whenever I feel like watching, it's The Accountant. Like, some days I just want to watch The Accountant. And so I have it saved in my Hulu so I can watch it whenever I want. I'm excited. If The Accountant 2 is really coming, give it to me. Put it into my face. And then 0 Day with Robert De Niro, Connie Britton, and Miss Angela Bassett is coming February 20th. I am also very excited about that. Also, I heard that The Diplomat season 3 is coming this fall, and it's like a little West Wing reunion with Allison Janney and Bradley Whitford. Whew. I managed to remember that without looking it up. My brain is such Swiss cheese these days, but I'm almost vibrating off of this bed thinking about season 3 of The Diplomat. If you have not watched it, I implore you to get into it. There are 2 seasons that you need to catch up on. Like, every episode ends in a cliffhanger. The season 2 cliffhanger is incredible. So I want you to get into it, and then I want you to email me about it and follow me on Blue Sky so we can chat about it when it comes up. Do that for me. Do that. Okay. The writing / publishing update. Let's talk about like publishing and books and stuff first. January sales came in at around $129, which is not bad for January. Not bad. I moved 441 units. Most of those were copies of Leslie's Curl and Dye, which is free right now. Sitting very pretty on the free Black romance charts over on the big A. It's February. I'm hoping to have a slight spike due to Black History Month and people buying Black books, reading Black books. I am all about it. I know some authors are like, don't put me on any lists. I don't want people to find me and read me. Put me on lists. I want to be bought. I want to be read. I want to be talked about. Put me on lists. I'm telling you, put me on a list. I'm not that kind of author. I need new readers. I want new readers. Bring them to me. Put me on a list. I'm still pushing Potter Lake and Black Diamond series. I have ebook bundles that are on sale. Black Diamond is $5.99. No, Black Diamond I think is $6.99. And Potter Lake, I believe, is $5.99, something like that. I don't know. Payhip.com/books by D.L. White. You'll see a link there that says bundles. You can pick up any of those bundles there. I think I have an ebook bundle, an audiobook bundle, Potter Lake, holiday romance. You can just like buy them in groups. Just put them into your face. You need to stop scrolling. Let me help you buy books. And then I'm going to focus on the Ruby's 10th anniversary special edition. I do have a slight bit of movement on that project. I am in touch with an illustrator. I am looking at being able to do a new cover for that. I need to get images for them to like take a look at and get inspiration from. It's very important to me to not have an AI cover for this book. And so I am in touch with an illustrator that does not use AI tools. He actually hand draws them. So, looking forward to that. I've got to get those images to him like today or tomorrow so he can kind of get started on that illustration. And then hopefully I'll have that. And then I have to figure out how to do a hardback edition with the what you call the wrap thing, the paper wrap cover. I don't know what it's called. That I got to figure that out. You know, I love a project. A thing I'm telling myself is just to pace myself. Like I was talking with my writing group last month, and I just got to focus on Q1, January through March. I don't have to think about the whole year. I just got to focus on Q1. So January, February, March, what are we doing? Ruby's 10. Ruby's turns 10 March 24th. I want to have the hardback edition of that book out or available for order. I'm going to try to do a Kickstarter for it. We'll see how that goes. I'm a little nervous about it because I don't feel like Black projects do well on Kickstarter. And I'm hoping just to prove myself wrong. If I can make back what it cost me to produce like 50 copies of that book, I will be happy. Calculated risk edits are in. I have them in my email. I haven't even opened it. But I do have, I have that. I've got to get edits done and returned to my editor. I'm aiming to get that done this week, so I'll have them back to her. I have to turn that in, edited copy and the cover by February 28th. So I have a lot of time, but I don't have a lot of time because we still have one more round we have to do. So I need to get that over to her this week. Grumpy Valentine, I wrote a little bit on this yesterday. I was on the verge of dumping it because I just felt like it just wasn't working. Threw a little temper tantrum, and I was like, if this does not work, I am dumping the story because not every idea is a book. I do not want to write a 40,000 word novel. I just want this to be like a cute little 8 to 10 chapter short. So I kind of sat down and like worked through what I've got. I wrote a chapter and sketching out the next chapter. I'm not dumping it quite yet. We'll see how the next chapter goes, but kind of I'm now at a point where my hero and my heroine are a little bit more comfortable with each other, and I'm on the cusp of some steam, and I am always great after the steam. So I was at a point where I think I was stuck because it was taking too long to get to like the climax of the story. And so like chapters 1 and 2, I had to like work on the timing. Like this is just taking too long. It's moving too slow. Certain things I'm going to have to skip. And so cut this, move that. Let's scrunch the timeline. And so I feel like it's working a little bit better for me. I feel a little bit better about it. And so trying to work it out. I'm going to probably take a break from it today and like maybe dig into it tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. I have a 2-day meeting at work. And so that's going to occupy a lot of my time, but I can like get in there and like edit, you know, while they're doing their hour-long speeches or presentations or whatever. I don't know what they'd be talking about. And so I'm just like sitting there. I can be working on editing what I've got. So I just need to get it on paper. I can edit it later. And then Music of My Heart is the fan fiction that I'm working on. I might eke out a chapter of that tonight or tomorrow. I was gonna kind of take a break from it because I need to get Grumpy Valentine kind of like off and running. But if I'm gonna take a break from Grumpy Valentine, maybe I can work on Music of My Heart. Like this story is just like, it's so fun and it's so easy. And like, I just kind of turn off my brain and type words, and people, I post it and people like it. It doesn't have to go through 2 rounds of editing, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be like entertaining and hot, and I wish the stuff that I wanted to sell could be like that. And I think it starts out like that, but then I start worrying about, being able to sell it and it being good enough to sell and it being, on a shelf or a virtual shelf, next to, Tia Williams and Kennedy Ryan and Farah Rashan and what the heck is that woman's name? There's another person I'm trying to think of. It starts with an R and it will not come out of my brain. I don't know. I'm tired. I haven't even finished my coffee because it got cold before I could finish it. Reese Ryan, good gracious. You know what I'm saying? So I worry too much about it being good before it's even done. And then I stunt the growth of my writing and my story. And then once it's out, I worry that it's not, it's not blah enough for the masses. I just gotta stop worrying about things and just write. And that is all I have for all of my regular segments. Of course, you have any questions, thoughts, feelings on things that I could talk about on the podcast, anything you want to hear me rant about for 25 minutes, I'm wide open. Shout me out a holler. I'm on the platforms. I'm at Blue Sky, Instagram, trying out Pixel Fed, which is kind of neat. It's like what Instagram was before you got an ad every other post. I've got a little bit of a feed there. Images and videos. They have stories there. So I'm hoping that takes off because it's actually pretty neat. The thing that makes it difficult is that it's hard to automate things there. Everything has to be done by hand. Like right now I use Buffer and I can automatically upload to Instagram, Blue Sky, X if I was there, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok if I was there. I've privated my account on TikTok. I'm not really posting over there anymore because I think there's some shady things happening at that website, and I'm probably gonna not do too much over there until the site is sold. We're right now on a 90-day holding period until the site is sold to an American owner or something happens. There's talk that the government wants a 50% stake, and if that happens, I don't want to be on state-run social media, so I'll probably get off of it. I don't understand how people are still on X, considering the owner now works for the government, and so I would be getting my tail off of that website. I have also kind of privated and shut down most of my presence on X, but I'm leaving my username because I don't want somebody to steal it. I'm hearing a lot of that happening with people who have authors who have given up their username, and scammers are coming and snapping up the username and spamming people with that well-known name. And I don't nobody wants my name, but I don't want that to happen with any name that I own. I still want to own my name. So I'm not deleting any accounts. I'm just not posting there. So I still want to control my name. Anyhow, that's all the rambling I have for today. That brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you so much for joining me here. I welcome any questions, comments, or feedback you have at booksbydlwhite.com/bookcast/110, or you can find your way to the comments of this episode on my main Substack at authordlwhite.substack.com. You'll find full show notes, links to all the things I've talked about, if that's relevant, and a transcript for today's show on my website at booksbydlwhite.com. You please share this podcast if you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed this episode, and if you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give me a rating, please. I'd so appreciate it. Once again, you can support this podcast with your book purchases. booksbydlwhite.com/shop. I'm trying to use that URL now. If you go to /shop, you can buy books or merchandise. You can also spread the good word via social media or by word of mouth. Tell all of your friends about it. You can join the newsletter at booksbydlwhite.com/newsletter or the Substack. You can find links to that on my website at booksbydlwhite.com/link in bio. You can also contribute monetarily at buymeacoffee.com/booksbydlwhite or by throwing some coins in the hat at bookcast.buzzsprout.com. Thank you so much to the people that already support me there. I really do appreciate your continued monetary support of this podcast, because every little bit really does help keep this podcast alive. The Bookcast is written, produced, and edited by me, D.L. White. Our theme music and any sound effects are provided by Pixabay. I will be back next week with a reading, writing, publishing update, plus fun things to fill your mind with instead of scrolling on social media or while you're scrolling on social media. Until we are together again, please have a superlative day and a perfect week. We will talk again soon. Bye-bye.